in the lesson I learned, yes, there are a lot of rich people we talk about it. Right? Rich people can invest a lot of money, but then they are not hands-on. I think you have to think twice. You need someone who can have the financial to back you up. But at the same time, this will be he or her business full-time there. I think that is very, very the criteria, I think, for picking a franchisee.
Welcome back to the TFC Business Show. I'm your host, Reggie, aka your Chief Financial Coconut. And today's panel, going to start the day with really talking about how do you pick your franchise, how do you pick your franchisor, how do you succeed with this whole franchise thing. And we've been on this topic, so I want to kind of push this discussion as we go along. And we have two great guests on the show. Would you like to introduce yourself for our audience that don't know you?
Hi, I'm Wendy from Ryan's Grocery. We have a flagship store in Singapore and also a few counters in cold storage.
Yeah, what? Your counter to cold storage?
That's right. 14 counters.
Okay.
Hi, good morning. I'm Brian from KC Group of Companies. We run 4 different franchisees, different brands, K-Cuts, Clippers Barber, K-Skin, and Smoovee Skin.
Yeah. And last year you came on the show also.
Yes,
right?
I did.
Yeah. So next year I must send you invoice.
Sure, anytime.
You send in an invoice.
Yeah. But tell us, because your team has many brands, it's like it's part of your business, right? It's like a lifeblood of what you all do. So like how do you kind of decide on what next to go? Because last year when you're talking about Clippers, right? And then over the course of 1 year, I see the Clippers everywhere already, right? You kind of already have the market here, right? So like, what is with this next thing and how do you kind of look at it, and all that stuff?
Yeah. So we keep on looking in the market for new changes, especially consumer preferences. So if you notice the changes of the consumers, especially in the barber sector, we notice that there's this trend, and when we look at this trend, is it sustainable? Yeah, so we'll start opening a few, and if it's sustainable, it is profitable, and then we will then engage franchisees who are keen, and then we'll start sharing with them, how they can come in and join us.
Okay, fair. So what would be your pilot period? Usually,
normally we look at about 6 months to a year.
Okay. But then there's a risk, right? Because consumer cycles sometimes 1 year bechun, right?
Bechun, yes, correct. Yeah, true. So, but for in this type of business, it's an evergreen business, so it's quite predictable. So you should be able to see the trends within the 6 to 12 months.
Okay, fair. And for the industry, I mean, in the past 2 days, we did talk to some people, and some people are saying, Singaporeans are not spending as much anymore because it's an older generation, right? Like, we're not like, the average age is like, 44 or something, right? So, and there's a lot of data, gerontology study to show that your consumption peak at your 40s. After that, it kind of comes down, right? So, you guys run brick and mortar, right? Like, how does that impact you? How do you kind of factor that into your decision and all that jazz?
I think for my business, slightly different.
Because premium quality. 40 years old can buy premium.
People are health conscious.
Okay.
So yes, we do have a group of young parents. They come in, they want good quality meats and groceries for their kids. And then another group of them are professionals. And yes, we have a lot of retirees, a lot of 40s and above. Yes, they're also into health, being health conscious, and they have the money and they're willing to spend. Yeah.
Okay, so you are on the upside of the curve.
That's right.
What about you? Because you run so many, right? So I just want to hear that point of view.
For us, we are more of the targeting of the masses. So the price point wise, we're looking for more affordable. In fact, our age group that we are targeting are between in the range of about 24 to about 45 years of age group. So this group actually is growing. Yeah.
Really? It's a growing group?
Yeah, it's a growing group.
Okay.
In terms of the income and all this, right? They are actually looking for more of a value kind of price point. Yeah, and more importantly, they want it fast.
Okay. So so from the value, you say it's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
Because I my outlet is in Great Wall and his is in the basement. I always get to see who is queuing, who is there. You can look at the customer base. It's slightly different from others kind of haircut stores. Theirs is a bit more, I should say, more affluent ones. Slightly more affluent, middle class affluence, put it that way. They're willing to spend. They want a bit more service other than a quick $10 cuts. They will go to them.
Okay, fair. So in some ways, you found a market right? In some ways,
indeed.
okay. And you have some sort of a track record, right? So like different brands, they all kind of work, right? So maybe elaborate on the new brand. What are y'all trying to do? You know, just trying to give our audience a bit of sense of this new thing that you are pushing.
Yes, we actually 2 years ago we saw a trend of this business that we are doing is a hair removal business. It's called Smoovee Skin. Yeah, so we noticed that there's this preference of customers, a rising, I would say, a trend, especially among this group of audience of 20 plus to 40 plus, right? They are actually engaging into a very active lifestyle.
Okay.
Yeah, very active lifestyle. So they are going to like gym. They are going. They are very looking into more into their appearances and because they post their photos on all the social medias, right? Yeah. So photos, videos, you have to look good, right? Yeah. So we find that there may be a trend in this aspect of it. Yeah, hair removal concept is not new.
It's not new.
It's not
There
new.
are
It has been
multiple
around for
big
like
players
many years
around
already. And we noticed that in the market, right, the traditional competitors are still doing what we call selling traditional packages. Yeah, the traditional type
What
of
does that
selling.
mean?
Meaning to
Help me
say,
understand.
you have to come in and then you probably buy 10 or 20 times kind of packages.
The fact that I need to ask this question, right?
Sure.
Like I really have no clue, right? So yeah, educate me a bit more.
Yeah, so
Especially the guys, I don't educate us.
we have a lot of guys actually.
Oh, okay.
So out
Great.
of like our group of customers, right, 80% are ladies, 20% are guys, and it's actually a lot for a beauty business. Yeah. So in terms of the aspect of this growing trend, right, we noticed that this group are actually spenders, but they are very careful. So they don't want to lock themselves into packages. Yeah, because packages, right, you have to pay them quite some. It's not in hundreds. It can be in thousands.
Yes.
So sometimes when you locked it in, right, then when you go back again, it's a lot of I would say selling techniques involved.
Yeah.
So for us, we saw that this group, they are not going to such aspect because we did, thank God, quite well in K-Skin. And K-Skin, no packages, no appointment, right? Yeah, it did well. So we thought, maybe we could do something like this for Smoovee.
Okay.
So we started, we developed, and we started with the first shop, and it did well. And subsequently, that's how we kind of like duplicate this.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair. Just to dig a little bit into that, right? Because essentially what some of these so-called traditional, health and beauty players, they give you one-time great promotion, then they hook you in, then they will tell you buy the $1,000 package, right? That's the mechanics, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And you decided to move away from it and pay per visit. Right? Is that kind of the method, right? Okay, pay per visit. So you essentially change the kind of cash flow structure of your company. I mean, of course, the user experience is one thing, but it does change the cash flow structure from a company standpoint,
That's
right? So how does that kind of look like from a cash flow perspective? How do I manage this? What is the general expected, can I look at?
So, first of all, we have to make sure that at every visit, right, we give the best service that we could. And so that the customer will keep coming back, right? Yeah. So that in instance, right, will push up our standard of customer service, right? And second of all, we also want to hear a lot of the feedback from the customer. Yeah, because when you hear the feedback, you know the customer preference and you know whether or not I'm doing well or not, right? Yeah, and that will show up in your Google review. Nowadays, people look at Google review even before they step into your shop.
It's true.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So if you're confident in your customer service in terms of your delivery, then the revenue will come.
Okay.
Yeah,
what's the franchise fee? How much do I need to put? What's my ROI?
Franchise fees is very affordable. Now we are only going for 25,000 for a period of 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
Why? Why so affordable? Is it a
because,
trend? It looks like a mega trend that franchise fees are coming down.
It's a new brand.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just 2 years old. So we
Okay.
want to bring in more like-minded individuals to join us. So we are putting it at a very, very low rate.
Okay, but there's a setup cost, right? How much is the setup cost?
Okay, setup cost, I think
Your estimate lah.
including
I know different
everything,
outlet
between
got
about
different, yes.
200 about 250,000.
200.
Yeah, really depending on the size of your shop. Yeah.
Okay, then your hypothesized ROI agak-agak is how long?
Okay, we are looking at about 24 months type of
24
ROI.
months recoup capital, okay.
Could be faster, but Yeah. We
Okay,
set
24
expectation,
months is a conservative estimate in the in the space already.
Yeah, it could
Right.
go 18 to about 24.
Okay,
So,
okay,
18 to
okay.
24
That's
months.
interesting. Yeah. So if you're interested in hair removal as a business, right. And I'm not laughing because I think it's a bad business. Just everybody have their own preference, right?
That's
And
right.
maybe I'll join you something else. No, yeah. And tell us a little bit more about yours because I got to know you quite a while ago, being about a year plus ago. Like we did chat, right? And I know back then you were kind of exploring different business model because you built this brand for a long time from scratch. Right, and then you consider the franchise one, and then you consider some licensing. I know we were talking about this whole thing, right? So tell us the journey. How is it like so far?
For me, I started the business is out of my personal needs because we wanted good quality meats and then we couldn't find. So I think now we're still the only one that is fully organic, free range, carbon neutral, and also that is our criteria.
What are the little farm leh? Little farm is everywhere also,
Yeah,
right?
they are slightly different. They are not. We are more 70% butchery. Yeah,
okay,
so it's not
okay.
the fresh produce,
Okay,
not the
fair.
veggies or things. That is our complement items, we call it. So slightly different model. In fact, we supply to a lot of people in the market that in a similar business trade.
Yes. It's true because once your supply chain is strong and in, you can always push it through different. But that's a very business side of discussion.
So, how we started this journey on franchising is that it's not that we wanted to, we never thought of it. What happens was that we have a lot of regular customers from around the region. They come to Singapore for many reasons, for medical reasons, or they have investments here. They always tell you why they're here. Maybe to
if they
to
come
collect
for
rental,
medical,
sell a house or something.
It's those few things.
Yes. So, that's how we get to know our potential franchisee or became my franchisee. So we have the Vietnamese was the first batch. So two group of people were very much regular. And then one day they keep telling us, let's open a shop. We're like, I don't understand Vietnam. To be honest, we don't understand how to do it, right? So we actually embarked on a program. We engaged consultant to teach us how to be a franchisor. So it took us actually a year because we need to go through, right? We need to do your financials, how to help the SOP, how to help your franchisee. We did all those things. After that, I need to work with lawyers to get my document registered in Vietnam. But right now, it's a lot easier. I'm talking a few years ago before COVID, it was a bit more difficult. Also, my items, how to ship into Vietnam. Because every item you have to pay tax and fees. I need to understand the whole procedures. So it took us like a year plus to learn. Then eventually we did open. I think 3 outlets we did. Before COVID and during COVID, they were doing very well initially. And after Vietnam, actually, we officially withdraw last year. We actually, the contract has 3 years, so we have decided not to renew with them.
Okay, why?
Reason being because during COVID, we couldn't travel down. Although they were doing well, but the concept has changed a bit. And also partly, I think a lesson for all franchisors to learn is that both my franchisee, my master franchisee is from a well-to-do family. The reason he wanted us because he wanted organic, good meats. And he actually also started having an organic vegetable farms. So he wanted to put his vegetables and things together. It went well. But then during COVID, I think they are not allowed to work. They closed before we did. So we couldn't go down and check on them also. And then the key personnel left. I think that's very important because the owner is not hands-on. The owner does go in every night, every day, but he's not hands-on into the business. So you leave it to a team of people, although they're all relatives related. Also quite difficult to work with in a way. They are nice, but then I can't say too much to him, what is happening here and there. So everybody's a relative. The marketing is a relative, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, or cousins or whatever.
Guy brought in a brand to run a job for the family.
Yes. And they're bankers, they are bankers, they are real estate people. Suddenly everybody wants to grow the business big. They all came in. But
suddenly everybody want to be in the grocery business.
And then I think they learned a bit. Most of them actually took out other brands. They were selling bubble teas and other brands. And they were all like focusing on their own side business. So the brand has actually, it survived. But when things, market opened, we traveled down, I was shocked. I was very shocked. My stores look like Papa Mama stores. Because whenever you do reporting, zooming, you can actually adjust.
Yeah.
Right? You can zoom on the good things, you don't see the bad things. So I was actually shocked. Actually, in fact, when I went down, I was actually with the whole group of my FLA committee. We were there to do market visits. And also, and there was a franchise show there. I remember after that, we have some free time. I went alone. When I saw the shop, I wanted to cry. I didn't tell them I'm going down. I actually went to a corner. I went to nowhere to sit. I sat in a French restaurant. I don't know what to do. I called one of the consultants and said, oh gosh. I said, I want to cry. I don't know what to do. The shop looks terrible. And I felt very shameful. This is not what we are. Yeah. So then I didn't want to say much to them. They didn't know I was there. Because you need to do auditing, right? So I didn't tell them we were there. So I came back, I told my husband, come, we have to go down. We really have to go down this time. So this time we went in officially, we go in, we let them know we are there, and we sat down and we talked, and then we were telling them, he was still telling us the story one he wants to build. But, we would say, okay, then we went back a month later, we go down and then tell him, say, maybe we should stop. I think it's a bit difficult. Your lease, the second shop lease is going to due. I mean, let's stop and then maybe we come back again another year or two. Let's find the key personnel for you. I think the key thing is key personnel. When your team has changed to more something who doesn't understand our brand, because our brand is a bit like a gourmet, imported goods. If you don't understand, it's a bit difficult. So I think you have to identify and find the right person.
Okay.
So he agreed. So that's how we stopped. I mean, but he's still buying my meat. They were flying and he bring. I always pack in 5 kg ski pack for them. We're still good friends.
Forever a customer. Forever a
yeah,
customer.
That's right.
Okay,
That's right. But he understands that he can't run it. That's not the model. He can't run it. He has to be hands-on. And the lesson I learned. Yes, there are a lot of rich people we talk about it. Right? Rich people can invest a lot of money, but then they are not hands-on. I think you have to think twice. You need someone who can have the financial to back you up, but at the same time, this will be he or her business full-time there. I think that is very, very the criteria, I think, for picking a franchisee.
Yeah. So that's a part where the working professionals come in, right?
Yes.
They have worked there 10, 20, 30 years. They made their money. Now they want to leave the corporate grind.
Yeah.
Then they think like, okay, let me do a franchise, right?
Yeah.
Is that the kind of people that you think
I
it's
think
better?
that's the people we should look for, yeah. And the sense counts, isn't it? Some of them just too rich, it doesn't matter. Stock exchange overnight.
Too rich, it doesn't matter. Just buy only lah. Actually, I want to eat only, but never mind. I just franchise this thing.
For his own consumption. It's true. Or I want to own a brand. It's nice to mention. I mean, some of them got many brands. And my mother partner in Hanoi, they have many brands. A lot of Singapore brands, they just pick. All fail.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So looking at what it is now, right? Like how would you pick your franchisees, right? If today someone wants to join you, what does it take to join Wendy?
Okay. So actually, good news, we have slightly changed our model. After a while, we realized I need to be very hands-on with them. And then some of them, they have a lot of to share or not to share information from the franchisee. So we decided, your franchisee, because the shop is there. So to them, it's like, wow, the POS system, because we have a system, right? We take a part of a commission from the POS system. So they will maybe do something else like, oh, don't go through the POS system. I set another POS system to do sales and stuff like that. So that they have to pay us a royalty fee.
Even here in Singapore?
In Singapore, yes, yeah. So this time round, we actually just started this September. We're going to open one store under licensing. Okay. So slightly different. So I'm not interested to know what's your sales and everything. You can use my brand name. You must carry my meat. No other meat, only my meat. Some of my house brand products. And then the rest, he has the freedom to run it.
Okay. Can you elaborate a little bit more? How is it different from an operational standpoint for the franchisee?
I think very
when it's a franchise and when it's a licensed model.
Yeah, license because we just license the brand name to them. We help them to do some marketing, but he doesn't have to follow my SOP, and because it's slightly different, we will do all retail pack for them. So it's a lot easier for them to pick up and learn. Even the staff, as I mentioned, because now we depends on the location, they can do something different, or maybe they want to do ready to eat, something to heat up that I don't have. I mean, by all means, go ahead and do it. Okay. Yeah, that's what we encourage them to do it. Yeah.
Okay. So it's no longer a situation where I open another Ryan's Grocer, right? I can always have a wall that is Ryan's Grocer's meat, something like that, right?
That's right.
And so then our collaboration becomes lighter on each other.
Yes, that's right.
And you think that is a better way forward?
We don't know. That's my first model. Let's try. We won't know.
Okay, fair.
As you mentioned, yes. So this partner actually, he also owns his own business, but then he's more a hands-on person, and he has a shop next to this new shop. So I think he would literally be there most of the time. Yeah. And also, he also has some health issues, challenging issues that he really wants to beat. So which is great. I think this the passion and the belief is very important.
Okay, great. But as a brand owner that have multiple strategies, right? Yeah. Because you run your own shop, right? So that is your own revenue, and then you have a franchise system, and then you have a licensing system.
Yes. consignment also.
Yeah, and then you got all
Post-purchase
this.
consignment comes.
Yeah, exactly. So you got all these things, right? How do I know I can trust you in developing my side of the business, right? If today I'm a franchisee, right? Like, how does that work? Because you got so many ways, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yes, I agree. But I think most important is that because I have a lot of exclusive deals with I work with farmers. I don't work with traders. So the meat I've been representing has been 9 years. We are really growing together. They are all they are not say big farms, but they are good enough for export. Boutique, good products, very well established in Australia also. So these are the brands we work with, and you can never get it anywhere else. So I would just make sure you have that meat, you sell that meat. I think most of people go after is the meat that we carry. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, to be honest, if you want to buy maybe a salt or an apple, you can buy anywhere. But if you really want to buy my free range pork, you really have to go to Ryan's. It's only sell under Ryan's brand.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, fair. And what about you guys? Why do you only run one system then? Because over at Wendy's side, they know what their strength is, right? They have their core meat products, and then they run different business model for people to come in at different type of strata and arrangement, right? And I think that kind of opens up for flexibility. But you're still quite young in the franchise licensing business.
Yes.
That's a fair statement, right?
Yeah.
So in 10 years time, we'll ask Wendy, how is this thing like? Right? Having different model, is it better? Huh? But for you guys, it's just franchise, right?
Yes.
You pilot a model, and then this thing works. You go out, get a franchisee, and then they put in the capital. You run with them, right? So why like that and not so flexible?
Because we believe in SOP, and we believe in there's economies of scale.
You were in the army last time, is it?
all of us.
That's service oriented, very important.
Yeah, SOP is
Not
not.
just
It's important. It's
service,
important.
yeah, service oriented.
That's right. So we believe in SOP, and for SOP to work, it must be a franchise. Yeah, and also we also believe that when everybody is aligned with the vision and mission of the brand, then it's very easy for us to then build the business together. We see it as more as a partnership than me running this business and you just coming as a franchisee. We see it as a family. Yeah, because when we run it together, we build it together, it becomes strength to strength. We grow together.
Family, a bit cheesy. Hey, welcome to the Financial Coconut Podcast Network. I'm your host, Reggie, aka your Chief Financial Coconut. And if you're loving what we're creating here, like, share, subscribe, share with your loved ones, comment in the comment section below. And yeah, we'll see you for great content on Chills with TFC. But last year, actually, when we were talking, you did talk about how your models, right, don't need skilled people, right? Like in a sense that you run the model all the way to train everything, right? Yes. So like the person that joins you or your franchisee does not need, can be the rich one, like got money, just buy 10 stores.
I cannot be too rich.
Yeah, don't need to be hands-on, like I mean, and that was what you were talking about last year, right? Yes. I remember this, right? That's so right, from that point of view, what type of people would you want to be your partners?
Yes. Yeah. So a few criteria. One of the main ones is the management skills, which we believe that there's many in Singapore. We are all trained in that aspect of it.
Singapore is a country of middle managers.
Yes, correct. True. However, we also notice that there are certain groups of franchisees, right? They are very siloed in their current work, meaning to say they only work by themselves. And it's very challenging if we were to come in as a partnership, because then you are starting to manage people. And you need to take care of your people. You need to understand their welfare, where they are coming from, and things like that. And if you do not like to manage that part of it, then it becomes a very challenging growth for you, because this is a customer-centric kind of business. So you must at least, anyway, it's only managing like 3-4 staff in that aspect, but you must like to work with people and take care of them and see that they are the ones that will help you to grow your business.
Okay. Wendy, you look like you got something to say to that. Confirm got experience with different franchisees coming in. Yes, we are adjusting people's expectations, right? Yeah. What does it mean? What does it take, to be a franchisee, right? Yeah.
Well, in fact, when we started this business, we have a dream that eventually my employees will be the one running the business.
It's a bit like the Hai Di Lao model, right? They train at a certain level, then they open up the next store.
For me, it's slightly different. I started this business, the name of Ryan's is because it's my son. So I think everybody knows, the market knows, my son Ryan is autistic. So that's why I look for good, clean food to heal. Besides all the therapies, we thought food can really heal, which is true. You eat good food, you behave better because food actually can give you gut issues. Maybe there are things he can't express, frustrations or here and there, or sugar too high, whatever. So this is what we did. So for me, it's like me and my husband is not say young. We already took our CPF, we are allowed to take our CPF out, so our age. So
I never asked her. Wendy say what?
Yeah. So, looking forward, my son would never run the business. Ryan's can't run the business. So from the day one, we opened a shop. In fact, when we started, we wanted a small, tiny shop. That's it. It's like, okay, even last 20, 30 years, how much can you lose? Can't be that bad. Maybe 3, 4 staff. That was our tiny little dream. Have a license and can import my meat. But the market just pushed us, to move forward.
It went out of hand.
Yes, went out of hand in a way, yes. Went too big, sometimes we talk about it, maybe we should. Then went too big because the hotels start coming, the supermarkets start asking, and then we end up doing food service and a lot of things. So we have factories now and warehouse. We have a lot of staff, we have 100 over staff now. But we still want the staff to run it. So that was our dream. And what we did, we really did it. So what happened last year, one of the butcher with me for many years, we actually gave him a shop. The one, the Binjai, our first shop. So we give him a shop. It's already there. Actually, it's a startup, literally zero startup cost. We just, never mind, I give it to you, we sign a franchise agreement, let you run it. And then you be your own man. Because he was with us for many years, so he started to slack. Sometimes people start to slack.
It's normal, right?
Yeah, because they think they're so good, they slack, they lock in, So we thought, okay, it's about time. And then he and his wife agreed, okay, you take it up. So now it's your shop. It's under your name. We help you to change everything, even landlord. I think we went too much into it because I think for emotional in the business, we were his guarantor for everything.
Oh,
yeah. Although he was my franchisee legally, he was my guarantor for everything. I will guarantor. So we let him run everything, and then we supply him goods. Everything 100% comes from us. So let's let him run the business. I think good or bad, we learned a good lessons. Is that he did well initially the first few months, and he still seems to be doing well. At the same time, he started opening other business. So he started to open exactly the same concept. Except that he can't get the meat we have.
Okay.
Yeah, and then one day he just locked up and didn't show up until our regular customer calls, your shop is not open, for a month. And then we just realized. Yeah. Wow. She said, I think it's a month already. I always I don't see them. Then we realized, because when we call, they say, we are there, we are here. Or we call for a meeting, or they were there meeting us and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So we learn. I think cannot get too emotionally engaged. That's why we're thinking, let's do licensing. Let's not get involved. When he called in sick, he wanted a day off or something, he and wife got date night. Okay, we will send in my current staff to go in and help him, be the butcher, be the cashier. That's what we did. I think we were too engaged into it.
Yeah.
You said you have to be, but then not too much.
Yeah,
so we think maybe licensing works. So we just started this. Let's see how it works.
And we'll see.
Yeah,
right?
lessons. Yeah, there are many lessons.
Brian look at it like, wow, 辛苦啊. just do franchise don't they work so hard right? Okay. And I think a big part of Singapore professionals, right, is they make Sing dollar. Right? So at some point, everybody got 300,000 in their bank account, right? And then they start to think like, do I buy a new property? Do I invest more in the market, or do I start a business? Right? I think that's really the basis of why people even explore some of these things as a way out of their corporate grind. But they would think like 300,000 in Singapore. You cannot say it's very small, but it cannot do a lot of things, right? So some people would think like, how about I work with you guys as a Singaporean? You trust me, the Singaporean, or I hope you trust a Singaporean, and then I have some friends in Malaysia. I will open in Malaysia. Or I will open in Vietnam, representing your brand, right? And I'll position myself there, is that an arrangement that is people talk about? Is it common, would you be open to it? Just give me some color on that front. Making the Sing dollar work harder for them as a startup capital, you know what I mean?
Yes. In fact, we do have franchisees who are very keen to work with us in Malaysia as well. He actually opened.
Tell us more.
One of the brand that went overseas is this brand called K-Skin. So K-Skin, we have about 60 over outlets in Singapore. So last year we decided to look into overseas market, and the first market nearest to us is,
of course, culturally
Malaysia.
we are very similar. Yes.
And we are so close to JB. So we started to open our first shop at JB, and it did so well. The City Square one did so well. It gave us a lot of confidence that it can work, you know.
Did he sign the country's master franchise?
No, that was under HQ.
Under HQ, HQ
because
do
we
your own.
always
Okay.
try ourselves first,
Okay,
and to make sure that it worked. Yeah,
Okay.
and before we move on.
Okay.
Yeah. So and that worked, and then we decided to open a second one to try out, and then that worked as well. Then we find that maybe we can start franchising this business, right? So one of the franchisee who's a Singaporean, he says that, I want to open, but I don't open in Singapore. Yeah, because you have already 60 over outlets, right?
Yeah. I don't want to do a same store sales compete. Yes.
They know that it's okay, it's good. It's just that it takes a long time for them to open because finding locations may be a challenge, right? So they say, maybe can you look for me in JB? Let me try in JB. Anyway, so near, right? Yeah, so we found a location for him. And we find that it's good, similar to what we have opened the previous two, right? Then he gave us he finds that is okay. I trust you lah. You opened so many already. So let's try out. Oh, he did so well. Yeah.
So now he's your master franchise.
No. We don't give exclusive lah.
Oh, you don't give exclusive. Okay, so that is the system that you guys.
For Malaysia, we find that it's very nearby. You know, we are able to have our own ops here to operate.
Okay.
Yeah. So we decided to operate under Singapore.
Okay.
Right.
So from a relative price point, how would that look like? If I open here and from that guy's perspective, if I open here, how much did it cost? You know, and he opened there, how much did it cost? You know, if you can give me some color lah, just for the audience.
I think costing wise, I think he saves about close to about 40%.
40%.
40%.
Wow. And is the ROI higher? Because a lot of Singapore businesses, they open in Malaysia, right?
Yeah.
And they charge a bit cheaper only, right? Like 20-30% cheaper, you know, relative to a converted price here, right? And ROI is much higher.
True. In fact, the ROI is faster. Yeah. Anyway, we are serving Singaporeans.
Yeah.
In JB, right? I mean, they go.
Even Malacca these days, right? Like you walk in, you see shop, this price point, I know who you're targeting, right? So okay.
So we serve. But I would say on the weekends or public holidays, we serve easily 50% of them are Singaporeans.
Okay.
But then again, on the weekdays part, we still serve the locals.
Of course.
So we want to make sure that our price point suits them as well. Yeah.
Okay. So that is your first foray into Malaysia.
Malaysia. Yeah.
Okay. So
we
that's the first
subsequently
brand.
also went to Philippines. We're also in Philippines.
Okay. How is that then? How is the Philippine experience?
Philippines because quite far away lah.
Yeah. So master franchise.
We work with a partner. Non-exclusive because what we do is we usually test our partners to see whether or not they have that the first of all alignment. Second of all, whether they want to grow with us. So we always take care of them in a sense. You grow first, you hit a certain threshold, and once the threshold is hit, then we can talk about exclusive.
Okay. So you will share risk as a JV.
We don't JV, but they are partner. They run themselves.
So they run everything.
Yeah, but once it hit a certain threshold, we may come in as a partner.
Okay. Interesting. I like that despite so many shops, you are still very cautious with your partnership and expansionary,
Yes, because you really want your brand to take off.
Different. Like Wendy is very nice, so everybody was so can help, but you learn along the way, right?
Learn along the way.
Because you didn't start this as a business, right? You start this as because I want to eat, right? And for my son, that's it. Over time, you become a businesswoman, right? You learn all these things. So from that same narrative, right? If a Singaporean come to you, say, hey Wendy, I like your things. I want to, explore something else.
Every day we have that. Actually.
Really? And how would that look
into
like?
The shop. I have a lot of different nationality based in Singapore. They will come in and tell you, I like it like this. Shall we do this? Then they will say you can do a bit more of this, a bit of that. And then every day every month I do spend time. We can't say no. Sometimes people want to meet up with you through friends, through bankers. We just meet up. So we will talk about it. But I haven't found an ideal partner to work with. Because I was very hands-on, I put it that way. Hands-on and to understand. Even me and my husband, when we started, none of us are from F&B because it wasn't meant to be a business.
Exactly.
My husband actually went to Australia and he attended 2 years of course, flying in and out. He learned inside out about butchery. So he actually can cut. He can do because you can't do the yield loss. You won't know, is it? Because meet a lot of wastage when you come in. What's going to happen? That's the reason why we end up having a factory because, sometimes, after all we call it like the trims, it can go into sausages. So these are the things we learn. It's a very long process, different. So I think the passion and emotion involved is very different. I mean, we're still looking. We thinking next year we will go back to Vietnam, because Vietnam, a lot of people still knocking on our doors. There's still great potential. But what sort of model we're going to work with them is slightly different. But we definitely need a partner, because the meat importing, you need a lot of clearance. Yeah, you really need someone down there. You still really need a master franchisee, someone who owns the right to import in.
So to be clear, for a business like yours, it's a little bit harder for a Singaporean to say like, oh, I will bring your brand to, Thailand or something. Is it? Or do you want to work with the local?
Still possible,
so
but
it's not
he has to
exclusive
work with a local, because a lot of things you need local. You won't know. A lot of other countries, there's a lot of red tapes you have to clear that.
Language and all these things.
Cultural
nuance.
When
yes.
when you can clear, we can clear the custom.
There's a lot of those things. Okay. That's good to know. So maybe in closing, right, just kind of share with our audience, any last things to think about if they decide that, okay, franchising is my way out of my corporate grind. Don't need to be positive on it. It can be expectation adjustments, for our audience to better be prepared to step into a space like this.
So I think importantly, you have to look. You have to do your due diligence. It's important.
So what about due diligence? Because everybody tell me do your research, do your due diligence. What do I due diligence?
Okay, you have to look at a few things. That first of all, we look at, as a business person, we can share what we look at. We look at a cash flow business. Yeah, we look at the business that has good margin, a business that is scalable, and also a business that is in trend. Yeah. So these factors are important, because if you can find a business or a franchise brand that suits all these factors, right? I would say that half the battle is won. Yeah. And of course, the next battle is on the franchisee as well, because the franchisee themselves, they must also see that they have the time commitment. Time commitment is important. It's just that it doesn't mean that I buy a franchise and then it will surely run. It's just, again,
I already buy a franchise,
right?
it should run.
It is a workable model, but you must also put in certain effort. I would say, right, to make sure that the people that is coming up, is able to take care. You can take care of them, and they are able to execute what you need to do, right? Yeah. So I would say that all these factors coming into play will actually help you to propel the business better.
Fair. Can I just push a little bit on the in-trend thing, right? Because I understand the wealth and health and beauty space, right, has a lot of trends, right? And then just to kind of help our audience adjust the expectation a bit, right? Because we cannot assume perpetuity, right? Like the business will run forever, right? So what is the kind of like timeline for a trend to dissipate away? Yeah, based on your experience.
This is something that I don't have a crystal ball. I wouldn't know, but I would say that it has to evolve into an evergreen business.
Okay.
And if it's already tested by competitors and it's been around for many years, it should has a longer runway. Yeah. But again, we have to also look at into the changing consumer preference. Yeah, because there are new things that's changing in the market. And if you think that I have a workable model, it will work forever, it will not. In fact, even like technology. And technology comes in, advanced technology comes in, you have to put it into your business. You see whether or not I should, do this for my business, because people are already using this technology, right?
So on that front, right, because it's an additional capex, right? Let's say I already work with you on a certain brand like K-Skin, right, which is one of your more mature brands. I'm sure you brought in new technology over time, right? And from a franchisee standpoint, how mentally should I be prepared? I already pay you so much, right? 3-5 years later, you kind of tell me, hey, we are trying to upgrade our system. I need you to put in extra capex. How does that kind of look like? Just give me some color.
I think for technology-wise, we want to see whether or not it suits our delivery to the customer. Yeah, doesn't mean that we bring in a full new one coming in and then it will work wonders. No lah. Yeah, if it's possible, we want to see whether or not we can then integrate certain aspects of it into the current technology. I think it's important, and we don't want to also capex too much into our franchisee, right?
Of course,
because they are now trying to earn back their ROI, right?
Of course.
So we are mindful of that. We want to make sure that it is within that certain amount, and then we'll see how we can support them in terms of marketing, if you invest in this capex, let's do a marketing together. We support you on that. Yeah, because it has to be a win-win. It has to work. It has to work for you, and then it's to work for us as well, right?
Yeah. Have you done a big capex upgrade across the brand before?
No.
No, not yet, not yet.
Not
Okay,
yet,
but it's
yeah.
in the pipeline. You did think about all these things, lah.
We are thinking about it. However, at the moment, for the next, I would say the next 3 years, we are still the technology is still quite advanced.
Okay, yeah, I get it. There's a cycle to these things.
Yes,
Yeah, brand rejuvenation, new guideline come down, the color change. Then as a franchisee, it's like wow, all this is capex, right? So it's not just about tech. There's all these things that get updated over time. Yeah.
So one point I want to bring across is also just now earlier you talk about health and wellness, right? There's a lot of very active, I would say, talks about this aspect of it. Yeah, and this part of it is another trend.
Yeah.
So
post-COVID, this became a trend. It's very interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
And if the brand is able to bring in such mental wellness type of add-ons into their USP, right? It is very, very good.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not just about franchisee lah. If you have this idea, you can talk to Brian, right? And then you can develop a brand together, right? Yes. In closing, Wendy, any last things for our audience?
I think in terms of our business, same thing. We stay true health because of our good food. So about health and and on this wellness is very important. Which is I think when you step into the picking up a franchise program as a franchisee, you really need to know what you're in for. Are you committed to do it? Do you have the time to invest? Are you creative enough also? I think for me to pick a franchisee, the franchisee also must give me feedback. It cannot be one way. Yeah, we talk about their commitment, whether they follow our SOP or they are too much of themselves. They diverge and do other things.
Wendy got a lot of experience. Yeah.
So I think for a franchisee and franchisor relationship has to be. Last time we said family, but I think cannot be too family. I learned cannot be too close. You still tell yourself as a business partner must draw a line. As a franchisor, don't get too involved. In whatever problem they have, there's besides the work problem, their personal problem. I think we shouldn't be too understanding sometimes. So we must find a space to step away. As a franchisee, I see also you actually must contribute. I think that's very important. It's not just I take the brand, I sit there. I expect my franchisor to do everything for me. That's not true. I think it takes both parties to make it work.
Two ways.
And to work really hard, actually. Both parties work hard to make it work. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you for your time. Thanks for sharing. So if you have any questions, put in the comment section. We'll see you on the next hour. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.